Hey guys, can I give you a quick sticker? Have you seen this man running for president? His name's Andrew Yang. Yeah. Do you know what his math hat means?
Is what?
The hat. What do you know what it means?
No.
It's an acronym for Make America Think Harder.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Can I give you like a 20-second intro to who he is? Yeah. So he's a technologist and a humanist, and he wants to make America think harder. And as a technologist, he knows that AI and automation is going to automate away 50 million jobs in the next 15 years. So his plan is to reprogram the rules of the economy so that they work for people. Because right now we're measuring only GDP, stock market, and those things look great, but we also have sky high depression, low labor force participation. So we're basically measuring the wrong things. And if we only care about these metrics in the system, then humans are going to continue to go further and further into poverty, while the economy gets more and more automated. So what he wants to do is he has one thing called human-centered capitalism, which is he wants to create measurements for our happiness. It's called a new American scorecard. So we'll measure things like health outcomes, education outcomes, upward mobility, job and career satisfaction, and use those metrics as how the U.S. is doing instead of just looking at GDP. And the other thing he wants to do is a universal basic income. This is to address the 50 million jobs that will be lost in the 15 years to come. It's going to make every American a shareholder of the economy, collecting a dividend of $1,000 every month. Because right now yeah, what do you think of that?
Well, I don't know everything that's just thrown out there, so that's it's interesting that you
Yeah,
asked about that.
yeah, he's a really deep guy. Like if you see him out on the debates, it's a hard platform for
Yeah,
him because
I haven't watched any of
yeah,
the debates. I read all of it. But yeah, I mean, I've seen obviously and I'm seeing a little bit of a movement for him for sure. I'm seeing more and more bumper stickers and the
yeah.
whole thing. I actually hadn't seen the math thing though, which is brilliant.
Okay, yeah, I just saw another guy with a math hat on. He high fived me over there. So we're growing. Yeah,
No, that's awesome.
yeah, it's really grassroots. It's kind of like, the way I see it, I feel a sense of urgency because if it weren't for climate change, we could take our time to evolve and everything. But this guy's also, his other message is humanity first, right? So he says one thing, he doesn't fault people for the incentives that made them. So there's a lot of talk, like a lot of blame in the political field. And he's like, people are not inherently good or bad. It's just people are responding to the incentives they grew up with. And so a lot of people are stuck in scarcity mentality. And so it's competitive. And we need to move away from scarcity to abundance so that we're collaborative rather than competitive. And so that's why he's pulling over all sides of the spectrum. People love working with him. He interviews with like the tough conservative pundits also, in addition to, because he's a Democrat, but he reaches across the aisle.
Um, what was his background before he jumped into all this?
So he was an entrepreneur in the education space. It was his first venture that got big, and then he quit that to go into nonprofit, and he was creating startup companies in the Midwest. So what he was doing was the nonprofit was called Venture for America, and he was trying to fight the brain drain that went straight from like Ivy League schools straight to Wall Street, straight to Silicon Valley. He wanted to funnel some of that talent into the Midwest and create startups there. So, but he also said, as he was creating that nonprofit, like for the 7 years, he felt that for every 1,000 jobs he created, we were losing 10,000, 50,000 jobs in the economy overall. So that's why he started to decide to run for the presidency. Yes.
I just realized
Yeah.
that.
Is that okay with you? I was gonna ask your permission before I post it.
That's fine. I didn't say
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
You didn't? Did you know you're being filmed?
I always feel like I'm being filmed. When you're this good looking, it's like there's cameras on you.
Word. Yeah, so usually at the end of the conversation, I say, "Are you guys okay with me putting it on YouTube?" And if you're not, I'll just edit you guys out. So, okay, cool. Yeah, appreciate
We're
it.
neither. We don't oppose, neither support. We're listening.
Cool. Yeah, and then you'll make your own decisions in
We
private,
need to
right?
be educated.
Yeah.
It sucks the way you just mentioned earlier. Like we're responding, individually to so many different things coming at us.
Yeah.
So I have my own feelings so far, but I haven't made a decision on what I'm gonna do yet.
Cool.
But
Well, I encourage you to look into this guy. Like his
yeah,
long form interviews are great because that's the best platform to get because this is the level of work we have to do as a nation is like it's a paradigm shift. And so it has to do with our beliefs and all the incentives that we grew up, all the conditions that we grew up with are fast shifting away. And they've already shifted. But our mentality is still very much like competitive, scarcity. A lot of people are like, everybody should struggle. But I'm like, we don't really, I mean, that was an old physical reality. Now we actually have so much technology, so much abundance. Right now, it's more a matter of just how you distribute that and access rather than like having to fight over it. So yeah, so that's the level of like it's kind of like a soul searching type of work that as a society we have to do. So like right now the political platform is very much like slogans, kind of like game showy, and so I encourage people to like look.
Are you working with this campaign?
I'm a volunteer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I was considering applying for a job, but I think like as a grassroots volunteer, I might be able to do even more. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out about this guy in March when I saw him on Joe Rogan, the podcast,
Yeah.
and
I
then
haven't yet, but I listen to the podcast a lot.
Where is he?
yeah,
Like, where does he live? Where is he from?
he lives in he grew up in Schenectady, New York. So he was born in upstate New York, and his parents are Taiwanese, and yeah, so he's been a New Yorker, but the upstate flavor of New Yorker, it's kind of different. Yeah.
Well, I
So,
appreciate
yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your time. Levin.
Levin?
Yeah, Levin.
Thank you.
Eric, Heidi. Would you like me to send you a link to the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Okay. How about I jot down your phone number and I'll text you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing you.
All right. Yeah.
By so much right now.
Unless it was like an eggplant.
Yeah. This guy is really fun, and the whole movement's fun because it's a very reasonable movement. Like, I enjoy talking to Trump supporters, Bernie supporters. Like, I mean, because this is the whole point of it. Would you like one of these?
No, I'm okay. I got the
Okay.
little one.
Cool.
I like the little one.
Yeah, and Yang he sets a great example. There's like pictures of him like with his arms around Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren is reading his book.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, Elizabeth Warren came out saying she's considering universal basic income now. And then like a week later, I noticed Andrew Yang tweeted that Liz Warren was halfway through reading his book. So yeah, it's a good thing to see like
Is
some.
Bloomberg definitely?
Yeah, he announced he bought a bunch of ads. I think he dropped like 40 million on ads. Yeah.
We're definitely not voting for Trump.
Cool. All right, thank you. I'll shoot you guys a text.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.